All right, I think we're live.
Hooray!
And no
Hooray!
drop frames. That's incredible. That's incredible. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm pretty good. Is my face not showing up?
Your face isn't showing up, Eric. What's going on?
I'm not sure. I need to
Well, I think what's
try.
going on is you're not at your normal place.
Yeah,
Oh,
not that's certainly true.
yeah, I think you're at a science conference, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm at uh
You're
yeah,
back,
conference.
Eric, and you look all nice, all dressed up.
Okay, yeah, well that's because of
You're gone, Eric. You're already gone.
okay. So it seems if I'm looking at YouTube here,
It doesn't
it it
doesn't
seems
shut
to
off.
not allow me to. Yeah, well, that's fine. I'll just.
That's pretty cool. That's like a smart system that the iPad's using. You're using an iPad, right?
Yeah,
That's a fun system. I
I've
love
never
it.
really, I've never really used an
Yeah.
iPad before,
Yeah, I never
but
did really either, and I don't know if I will. Maybe sometime.
yeah, yeah,
I think they could be pretty nice for certain applications like reading stuff or like if you had the Codex books and stuff and when White
yeah,
Dwarf
yeah.
was digital for a short while.
No, yeah, I think that will be nice, and that sort of. I actually got Kill the rule book for Kill Team on it, and it seems nice enough. Although, like, I will never look at it
But you
except.
have it now. Well, so now it's just like you could bring that to like a gaming session, or you forget
Yeah,
that and
yeah,
forget everything, and then like whatever.
yeah. No, it's true.
That's
It's
fine
true.
too.
Yep.
That's
Yep, it
fine.
sure is. But it seems like it'll be nice enough. It'll be a little bit better, and it's nice for looking at the Ink 28, the 28 magazine.
Oh yeah, that sounds like that would actually be really nice because I don't know. I've done most of mine trying to read it on like a smartphone or also like my desktop, and wow, that's fine. It's a little awkward.
Nah, it's for something like a tablet. It's pretty nice because it's basically just um, like reading a magazine or whatnot. Because
Yeah,
it's basically the size that you would predict one to be. So it seems pretty nice.
yeah.
It's pretty nice. But yeah, I'm in lovely Chicago.
Heck yeah. So I've only been to Chicago a handful of times and never really for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Did you did you get a tomato soup bread bowl?
I did go
Or
to
should
a
I say a deep dish pizza?
I did go to the one place and got one, and it was pretty good.
The only place I've had deep dish pizza was in San Diego. So
Okay,
um and I
it was
hardly
pretty
even
good.
remembered. It was pretty good. Like it to me, it was pizza. I would say it was pizza.
Okay.
Not a bread bowl with tomato soup, like I joked
Yeah,
about.
this was not that. Even though perhaps some may prepare them that way,
Yeah,
this wasn't like that. It was better than that.
that's good. That's good. Um,
Yeah, but I'm most excited not about the um, conference that I'm at itself, but I'm looks like I'll probably be able to meet up with Weirdling Way and Dark Tech since they're both based out of Chicago. So
oh,
might
that's
try to
awesome.
probably play a game, some sort of Ink 28 game. So that's
Heck yeah.
that should be good, and I'll
Meeting
try
up
to
and
take some.
hanging out with the Ink 28 community. Incredible.
Yeah, so That's it's the best thing about science. Going to conferences,
Yeah, that's good.
seeing friends that
Yeah,
play 40K and such.
that's great.
But yes, I'm excited. I'm excited for that, and hopefully I'll be able to take some pictures and things, and maybe have a post up about it
Yeah, that would be neat. That'd be really neat.
sometime soon.
While
Okay,
you're in Chicago, you should try and go to another restaurant called Kuma's Corner. It's a heavy metal themed restaurant, like bar restaurant. The last time I was passing through Chicago, I went there and it was good. Hey, lifeboat sank. Not too much is up. How are you doing? Um,
yeah, no, there's one. If
Eric's
I
in
can,
Chicago.
I am in Chicago. But yeah, if I just take, I checked Kuma's Corner.
I
There are
can't
two of
in
them.
Chicago. Well, Eric's gonna be there for most of the week, right?
Yeah,
So maybe you can
leaving
meet
Saturday.
up with Lifeboat.
Yeah, but Kuma's Corner, there's one I just have to take like a 20-minute train metro ride, so maybe I'll try to do that.
It was good. I really liked it. It was fun. All their different, all the different things on their menu are named after different metal bands.
That's cool. Yeah, so I'll have to try to go. I don't know exactly how much time I will have. Like a lot of the
Well, I mean,
there's
in the
like a lot of
evening
shit
after the
planned.
conferences, after the talks and stuff, like you could go hang out with the other scientists or something, or you could just blow them off and do whatever you want.
Yeah, there are a lot of events. There are like a lot of events and receptions and dinners and stuff that
Lifeboat, he already went and ate pizza,
I did.
so pretty cool.
Yeah, there's one like 3 blocks away. It was like the first thing I did when I got here. Other than take a 1 hour train ride into the center of Chicago.
That sounds fun.
But there's some um I think on Thursday evening there's a like social event at the one museum of science, or perhaps it's a natural history museum. I'm not entirely sure. But there's that, and there's a bunch of other things. So I don't know what.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
I didn't go to Uno lifeboat.
you.
It was, I don't know even what it was called. It was like Blue
You sent a picture of
Matinalos
it to me,
or
Eric, and that
something. I don't remember exactly what it is.
it was a place.
Yeah, I looked up a thing of best pizza restaurants in
Lifeboat knows
Chicago.
it.
Mm. Yeah, I looked up a thing of best ones in uh, Chicago, and then looked around which were close to the hotel that I'm in, and it was the closest,
Yeah,
so
that's the
that's where I
one, Joe.
went.
That's the one, Lifeboat. You are truly an individual of culture. You know so much stuff. It seems. Have you been there? I never have. I never have. Yeah, it's something like that.
Was the best. I mean,
It's
it was good.
Malnatis. So yeah, close enough. Yeah, I've eaten a lot of pizza too. Well, Lifeboat, where have you eaten what you would consider the best pizza? The worst pizza that is supposedly famous in Quad. Oh, I don't know what I would say is the best pizza I've eaten. Well, Eric, now that you've eaten this deep dish pizza, are you a convert? Is that what you're gonna prefer now?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I would happily eat it again,
Yeah,
but eating pizza with a
a
knife
fork.
and fork is not what I associate pizza with.
Detroit deep dish is better than Chicago.
Well, I'll be.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I guess we've done enough rambling about Chicago and stuff. We could start talking a little bit more about Warhammer and such. Um,
Yeah.
I guess as of late, maybe it was last weekend. There was a championship in Australia, and they actually previewed a bunch of new stuff. Um, they like hinted at the notion that Chaos, Space Marines, and stuff will finally be able to get corrupted Night Titans. So that's good, I guess. Um,
Yeah, and the
they
one
had a video
Instagram
about it.
artist did the art for it. This Dark Mechanicus is perhaps the screen name. He
Oh,
also did a cool video for the Gene Stealer Cultists a little while back too. So I guess that probably means they're actually making a plastic Chaos Knight, which is pretty neat.
yeah, it looks great. His artwork's really good.
I thought it's interesting that they're having this preview, and I think this very weekend they're actually going to have um, one of their big, well, I don't know, what do they call it?
Warhammer Fest, maybe?
Yeah, I think it is Warhammer
In
Fest.
Warhammer World. Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe they'll show more about this.
I think they probably will because I think they said there are going to be a whole bunch of different reveals. I think for most of their game settings, so
Yeah, so that should
I
be
guess
exciting.
we'll
Well,
have more stuff to
yeah,
talk about.
lots more stuff to talk about.
So many things.
Let's see.
But for the time being, this reveal, I mean, there are a bunch of things, but I
The
feel,
artist on Instagram, their handle is Mechanic, dark
yeah,
underscore mechanic. So check them out if you're not familiar with their artwork. They're really really good.
yeah, no, it's good.
Actually. Here we go. Dark mechanic. Oh yeah, so they even have a post about the artwork they did for the dark mechanicus like knights. Really neat artwork. All the little Karen birds and stuff flying around the rotted carcass of sorts of the corrupted knight.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Really good, love it. Some of their illustrations of like Chaos Space Marines and stuff I really like too. Oh, and as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find their artwork. One of the things that I thought was neat a while ago, they did an illustration inspired off of the Alpha Legion Space Marine that I converted and um, Mixula from Iron Sleet painted.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, they were he was inspired from or they were inspired that miniature and did a really neat illustration of the Marine. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I remember I was looking through their artwork and I was like, wow, that like looks strangely reminiscent of something that I worked on.
It's true.
They do a really nice job of kind of downsizing some of the weapons and everything, and sort of having some of the sensibilities and stuff that are more in line. Oh, here it is. More in line with the type of models and stuff we convert.
Yeah, no, it is true.
Yeah, so check out Dark Mechanic if you're not following them already. Great artwork, really neat style, really atmospheric. They're working on lots of cool projects too, so. Okay, so let's get back to the previews. And I guess the main other thing that they preview is they finally started showing some more stuff from Warcry. In this case, showing some of the other one of the other Chaos Warband. And so I guess a lot of these are they look more like sort of your traditional like barbarians. Um, and overall, I think they look pretty good. They're in less outrageous poses as some of the more recent barbarian models and stuff they've released. And while their weapons are pretty big, they're not quite as over the top as some of the other stuff. Like a lot of them seem to have these like bone axes and bone swords, which I kind of like. Well,
Yeah, no, I feel they. I think they fit the general aesthetic of kind of the Warhammer Marauder, like the older Warhammer Marauders, and that idea of the northern wastes of chaos
yeah, I
from
agree.
the old war. And they also, I mean, they look a little bit like the what are they like the Dankoth chieftain, those sort of
Yeah,
models.
they look a lot like that.
But I feel they look better than. I mean, some of those chieftain models were pretty good, but then there was that Shadespire warband that looked a little off. I
Yeah, a lot of the
feel.
models looked a little wonky. Their poses were a little weird. I
Yeah,
thought their musculature looked pretty weird too. I mean, these models are
these are
their
still
muscular's
like
pretty
really,
weird.
really over muscled, but I think they look better than those, and I think overall I like them, but I feel these seem like the most generic of kind of chaos marauders that one would imagine. And I mean, it makes sense that they would make something like this because I feel it's almost like a baseline for what
Yeah, they kind of look like the
Chaos Marauders
Conan
would be.
sword and sorcery type barbarians. I
But I
like
feel
how
it'll.
they have like the different scars and stuff that they sculpted on the model. Some of them look good.
I feel it will be particularly interesting because it seems Warcry is all about these different tribes of chaos, which have their own cultures and how they worship the various gods and whether
Yeah.
they focus on one or another. So I think that's a neat, and it will actually allow Age of Sigmar to continue to develop lore and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Okay, so
And
here's some of the other models, and these ones are verging more into the territory of ridiculous, kind of like that Shade Spire warband we were talking about. Wow, they're brandishing their weapons in kind of a weird way, and it makes the notion of how big they are look worse. But overall, I still like them. These ones too. It's just
I
their
feel in
weapons
general,
are.
I don't really all of these. I don't love the bone weapon design.
Yeah.
I don't really love it. I mean, they look nice enough and they're interesting, but I feel I don't love that design as a whole. And then with how large they are, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. But I
Yeah.
feel
The
just
female one in
taking
the
those.
center, I think, is probably one of the nicest. Her head's great. It's like the little skull mask and
Yeah, it
everything.
looks good. And
And
she doesn't seem overly sexualized either. I mean, she's certainly not wearing a huge amount of clothing, but that's the warband as a whole.
yeah. And then there's some of these models here, these I look more like that maybe these are like the standard troops of sorts, and they're a little smaller. Their weapons are smaller, and I think they look better overall.
They really looking at this warband, and I think those models in particular, they really remind me of Hagen's
Oh
sort of,
yeah,
I guess, almost like Native American themed Age of Sigmar army that he's been making.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
really look like that. I think he even had a post on his blog recently, kind of mentioning having seen these pictures again. It got him kind of excited about that warband that he'd been working on, and he got out some of them and maybe painted another one. So I feel, yeah, they look a lot like
Yeah,
these
he's already
models.
ready.
Yeah, it's just his have cooler looking weapons.
Hmm.
But I feel all these models, like these are better looking Marauders than the older plastic models.
I
And I
agree.
think you could, just by taking them and replacing the weapons with smaller ones, or just, more traditional like steel weapons, I think you could make some pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, they also have like a saber-toothed tiger type thing, like a beast.
Yeah, I mean, that's not
The
particularly
untamed
cool.
beast. This is an untamed beast.
It's not particularly cool, but it's nice just to see some more interesting, like, different models.
I feel that the whole thing would be better if it didn't have that chaos star like wound on its like flesh. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Jurassic Park action figures and stuff
With the
of like
JP
years
symbol.
ago. Like if they don't have the JP symbol on them, they're already extinct. That type of bullshit. That's what
Yeah,
this reminds me of. It's like they needed to work that Chaos Star in there. Otherwise, you might not know that.
it's a Games Workshop product.
Yeah,
It also looks like the Kingdom Death Lion.
it does look a lot like that.
I assume this one will actually go together well without gigantic seam lines and whatnot, though.
That's probably true. Yeah, so it's okay. I'm not wildly enamored by it, but it's fine. Like I assume these are probably the ones that are gonna be in the. These are gonna be the ones in the boxed game alongside the corn ones,
I would,
probably.
yeah, I assume.
So
But yeah,
these
I
are the
feel,
untamed beasts, perhaps Warcry's most savage warband, and believe us, they've got some stiff competition.
so
Hailing from the
savage.
jagged savanna in Gore, these raiders have a distinctly old school aesthetic that is reminiscent of classic marauders, yeah, and barbarians of
Mm,
Warhammer's past. Yeah, so I agree. That's very much they look like the sword and sorcery barbarian marauder
yeah.
stuff that they've had for years.
I guess, yeah, all of this I feel is exciting in the sense that this is more narrative driven than a lot of their games. Like, even, like, let's say Kill Team, like, that's great. It's nice that they have a game to play skirmish sort of things with 40K
Mm-hmm.
armies, and gives you an opportunity to convert kill teams and whatnot. But there isn't much of a narrative focus. I mean,
You could
there's
make one if you
opportunity to
wanted, but
make a
yeah.
narrative, but it's very open for, like, doing competitive play and just using whatever random armies you have and such. Um, Whereas this, it's designed to explore a particular element of their respective universe. In
Yeah.
that sense, it almost reminds me of, like, Inquisitor, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that when Inquisitor was released, it was a new rule system, and it was specifically to deeply dive into a particular element of, in this case, the 40K lore, and really substantiate it and make it more interesting, more nuance, more subtlety, all those things. And it really made the game more exciting to me, even though, like the rule system, like, it could have been a really tight and competitive rule system I think it wasn't really because it was so role playing focused, but it didn't really matter. It was to me the exciting point was this narrative focus, and almost like you had to have some focus on that because they spent so much effort in creating it and developing this. And I feel for Warcry here, it seems like it'll be pretty similar. I'm sure the rule system will be tighter in than maybe like Inquisitor in the sense that you could play campaigns or like play in tournaments or whatever, because Games Workshop has been trying to go that direction more than they have in the past. But the
Yeah.
fact that it has a very defined theme means they will delve into that and add this narrative stuff such that it'll be easier to incorporate that into your own games and
Yeah,
learn
so I
more.
mean, I'm really hoping that they do spend some more time like kind of fleshing out maybe sort of like even like life in like the chaos wastes and stuff and like the warring factions between the different gods. But like it could also come off as just they have a whole bunch of factions that are kind of the same and they'll just have a bunch of generic paragraphs like
Yeah,
Vorn Ironclaw like charged into the midst of enemies and like tore off limbs and then it just kind of repeat over and over again different ways of saying they were super savage and they
yeah. Well, I hope they don't do that.
so that's sort of what I'm a little worried about, that they don't actually
Take advantage of the
and
setting.
bring
Yeah.
something new and interesting to the whole like the whole universe and stuff. But there's certainly a lot of possibility, and I think probably there'll be enough people that are actually excited about the release of the game that people will end up doing some of that themselves, even if not maybe a
Mm-hmm.
lot is actually done here in the game itself. But time will
Yeah.
tell, and I'm cautiously optimistic by it. Overall, the models they've shown, they're pretty interesting
Mm-hmm.
and good.
Yeah.
They would certainly function as a pretty good starting point for a lot of different conversions and other things like that. So,
Yeah.
overall, I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully, this weekend they'll show a little bit more about it and maybe even talk more about the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yo, actually, hey Greg, nice to see you.
Hey everybody,
hey, Greg.
glad to be here. Sorry for being late.
You got your hair
Uh,
cut, didn't you?
I sure did. I got all my hair cut off, or
It's
not
like
all
way
of it, but a
shorter.
lot of it. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot shorter.
It's not in your face anymore, in your
It's
eyes.
not. Yeah, thank goodness that was starting to get
Yeah, that's
really
why I was
annoying.
wearing my hat. Otherwise, I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
All right, so I'm gonna step away for like a minute. I'm trying to log on to Twitch, and
mm-hmm.
now I have an authenticator thing because everybody's trying to steal people's Twitch accounts.
Yeah, so I
And
still
my
haven't. Twitch has still not contacted me about my hacked account. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. They've said nothing. I've
Yeah,
contacted them.
that's pathetic.
I think 3 different times. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, they just don't care.
Yeah, I think that's just it. They don't care. They don't care about the regular users, and like it makes me question: do they even care about like the heavily invested like people that are actually really streaming a lot, bringing in a lot of say revenue from ads and all that other stuff? I have no idea, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But yeah, so I guess we can just use that as a point. If you're watching this on Twitch and have a Twitch account, you should make sure you have like the two-factor identification, because if you don't, sooner or later someone is going to hack into your account and essentially steal it. And even if you're not really like paying any money or anything, you don't have anything there for them to steal, they'll screw up your account, change the passwords and stuff, and then you'll just be locked out of it.
Yeah, I guess we were fortunate that they didn't tack into this particular
Yeah, we
one.
wouldn't
Like,
be able to stream. Oh,
yeah,
what a loss,
people would
What a
miss out on these
loss.
excellent streams.
A lifeboat,
With
you say, what's so like two-factor like authentication, where you'll set up something where if you say try to log in via your password, you'll then also have to put in like some other code or digit that will either be texted to you, or you have like some app
yeah,
that will generate codes for you that will work, that type of thing.
Yeah, within a day of setting that up myself, um, 2 times somebody tried to log into my account that wasn't me.
oh my god,
Like, that's ridiculous. So lifeboat,
that's
be careful. Your account's probably being hacked as we speak.
right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. People really, they really want to take whatever they can, or even if it's not take, just destroy and ruin stuff. I guess it's a little bit of that.
Hmm.
But like, you like to think, like, after they logged into my personal account and found there was nothing there, like, why didn't they just like leave it and like whatever? But no, they fucked it all up. Good job,
Yeah,
Lifeboat. You took one other step to preventing another needless hassle in your life.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, but Greg, before you joined, we were just talking about the previews from last weekend.
Yeah,
Um, Primarily just sort of talking about because most of them were some models from this Warcry game, and sort of talking about how they largely depicted kind of the classic old world look of Chaos Warriors and Marauders,
I
and
kind
just
of wish they weren't so fucking strong looking, like to an outrageous extent.
yeah, they are super muscular.
Johnny, you need to get the two-factor authentication. You really do, because your account, as I joked earlier, it's probably being stolen as we speak. Yeah, because as
Yeah,
Greg said, yeah, like a day after he
within
set it up,
within a day. Yeah, I
like,
got 2 texts with codes, and I didn't try to log in.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, when mine was stolen at maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning, Twitch sent me an email. Someone logged in from like Taiwan at this like address. Like, if that wasn't you, log in and change your password. It's like, what the fuck? Like, of course I'm not going to get. And like, so the next morning, I saw that email and was like, well, fuck. And so yeah, and then obviously by the time I tried to log in, I couldn't anymore.
Yeah, it's something.
Twitch Lifeboat says Twitch doesn't want to prevent fraud. It only hurts credit card companies. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's just another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I suspect that this weekend with Warhammer Fest, they'll just have a lot more Warcry information, probably showing the other warband that's going to be in the starter set, and
Those are
hopefully
the
actually.
corn ones, right? They've shown a bunch of pictures of them before,
Oh, I
right?
guess they did. But yeah, you're right. They did. I mean, I kind of hope they also give some sense of the rules. I
Yeah.
mean, not that I'm a huge I'm not that I'm hugely focused on rules or anything of that nature, but it'll be interesting to see like how much they're trying to play off the narrative that they're kind of suggesting, and if they will have various campaign settings and stuff like that, because I think that could be neat.
Yeah, I agree. Oh wait, so the other ones, the iron golems. This link might take us to pictures of them, which I think we've discussed them a little before.
Yeah.
Yeah, here they are.
Their weapons might be even worse than the bone weapons. And I think some of their poses are a little janky too, but
Yeah, a lot of their poses are they're brandishing their weapons in a way that I don't think anyone would ever do. And like, what the hell's going on with this like chaos dwarf like guy? Like
Yeah, he's
it
the worst.
like it
It's cool.
has
There's a Chaos Dwarf though.
it
Well, do we
is that
think
what
he's
that actually
supposed to
is?
be a dwarf, or
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
I
Maybe not.
still kind of think
Among
the
their
image?
numbers, but Duradin, is that what they call dwarves now?
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah,
I
so
dwarf.
think
that's a
that's
dwarf.
their dwarf name.
Why does he like? It's weird how like they. Is it this hammer actually has this like these little like brass knuckle type, or is that from his gauntlet? I don't know. Whatever. But overall, I kind of like them. Their weapons are ridiculously bad, I think. But aside
I
from
think
particularly this one,
they're they're a little bit different from the customary corn sort of imagery, which I
hmm.
like.
Yeah, I feel these will be good. Like they'll be good for people just making chaos armies and such. Either using them stock like that or doing some slight conversions. Like I feel just changing the weapons to be more consistent with
The helmets will be
some
good
sort of
for different
style of your
places.
own.
Good work, Johnny. You have two-factor protection for your Twitch account. And
That's good.
Lifeboat commenting on the Chaos Dwarf here. Chaos Dwarf, that dwarf looks like a Chaos Dork. Well,
Yeah.
to go back to something that we've made fun of for a while, it looks like that Chaos Dwarf is reveling in a set at Fans Warped Tour.
It's probably
Probably
true.
um, every time I die, he's reveling in that set at one of the breakdowns.
I hope. I
Getting into
hope.
the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we'll see what Warcry. We'll see what turns up with Warcry because there
I'm
are a lot of
excited for it.
So
there are a
wait,
lot of other
Lifeboat,
war bands.
you're requesting a pizza stream, Pizza Hammer. What does that actually entail? Does that mean we
Eric,
would have we would have a we would have a pizza here and we'd be eating pizza or something while we're talking?
has it been discussed how Eric is in Chicago now?
Yes, we
Yeah,
discussed
it was
that
now.
for a while at the beginning of the stream. Lifeboat knew of the pizza place that Eric had went to.
Huh. Also, I think it means that Eric, you need to the next stream, which maybe we could do another stream this week. Eric, you need to get a deep dish pizza.
Yeah,
we could have another
I
stream
could
this
do it.
week. I could do it. I don't
I
know
could
if there are
maybe
any
do
good
it.
pizza places around here. There is a Little Caesars, which I wouldn't say is good. I remember
No,
from my childhood that I liked Little Caesars pizza, but having moved
they're
here, I tried it
far
again,
from
and
good.
it's not very good. I don't know.
But it's so fast.
Yeah, they have those pizza like holding cells or whatever. I don't remember what they call them. Where you can just
Yeah.
walk in and tell them, "I want your standard pepperoni pizza," and it'll be there and ready for you. Wait, Johnny says they don't do hot and readies. Then I think they call it something like that. They have at the front. They have what almost looks like
Well, I think
a
he's saying that
series of little pizza maybe they call it the pizza portal. It's like this series of heated compartments or whatever, where they have a bunch of pizzas, and you can go in. I want a pepperoni pizza, and then you could just pull it out of there.
I think Johnny was meaning that Adam, you had said that there was a time when we were younger that we liked Little
Oh,
Caesars. Well, at that time, yeah, they sure as shit didn't have
they
the
sure as shit
hot and
didn't.
ready or whatever that was. That's a new development.
Well, you were I remember if you said like pizza or something to them, maybe they'd give you breadsticks or something. They did something.
I think that's true. I think
Lifeboat,
that's
it's
true.
amazing Little Caesars crispy pan. Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, no, but yeah, as Greg, you said, yeah, I'm in Chicago at the moment for a conference.
That's why you're
national
dressed up
conference.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that button down.
Okay,
it's
so
true.
Johnny, are you suggesting their pizza used to be good and is now like actually just bad? I mean, it is bad now, but I sort of likened it to the notion that it was probably bad when I was younger too, and then but I just as a younger individual like pizza, I love pizza, and like yeah.
Like how you like Kraft macaroni and cheese, like the stuff that you'd pour in the cheese
Okay,
powder.
Johnny says all he remembers are the commercials. Yeah, I hear that.
Hey, Eric, I still think that I like Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Is
I
it
think
bad?
it's fine, but I wouldn't want
I
to
mean, I
eat
admitted I haven't
it.
eaten it in a long, like years, but I still feel like it's good.
Yeah, the
But
little
maybe
Greek
it's-
puppet dude. Yeah, that's right. I guess he was supposed to look like Caesar, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but the most exciting aspect of me being in Chicago is later this week. I think I'm gonna meet up with Dark Tech and Weirding Way since they're in Chicago and try to play some fashion of Ink 28.
That's awesome. Playing Ink
You can
28. It's been
play
a long
Ink
time.
28? What the rules? What are the rules, Eric?
I don't know. I
The
just
most
don't know.
important part of Ink 28, the rules.
I assume it will be some form of Necromunda, whether it's the newer one, the older one, or I haven't really thought about it, and I don't care.
Is it true? Like I think a lot of the main pizza joints, like the famous ones, the chains, like all came from roughly the same place. Was that Detroit? Play tabletop live and eat pizza? Question mark. That would be incredible. I don't know if we probably don't really have the setup to do that.
Yeah, if that would happen, it would be live streamed via Instagram, or small portions of it would be streamed that way.
Well, that's up to you, Eric. You could try it, see what happens.
I could do a little of it, but those sort of Instagram streams like that aren't really amenable for people to actually watch
Oh
them.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so pizza originated in Greece. I don't even think I knew that. Pizza Hut is like Kansas. Papa John's, Kentucky. Little Caesars is Detroit. Domino's is Ann Arbor. I think. Okay, so they're from a bunch of places. Yeah. I think of all those chains,
I
sarcasm. Yeah, ancient Greece. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but yeah, I understand. That makes more sense. Yeah. Um. um. Papa John's. I think that's the worst of all of them. Chain food. God, why are we still talking about pizza?
I don't know.
Because we finished on.
Originated in Greece. Pizzas from ancient Greece.
Is that actually true?
No, or I
Yeah,
don't know.
it can't
I
be.
doubt. Greece. We said it here. Greece. Greece. You heard it here.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is truth.
Well, maybe we should get back on track.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything else revealed? I think
Um,
a new Primaris Space Marine was revealed. I think
really?
everyone wants to hear us talk about Primaris Space Marines.
I don't see it.
Right.
Oh yeah, there it is. What is this? It's like
It's like Iron Hand.
an iron
There's
hand
some terrain that
tech.
we
Wait a
don't
minute,
care about.
everybody. Pizza is from Italy, right? I mean, that's somewhat close to
That's
Greece.
yeah, that's true.
That would have been my initial prediction that it was from Italy.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
from Malta. I think Malta is considered part of Italy.
Okay.
Well, let's stop talking about
Yeah.
pizza.
All right, we're back to the Primaris. This Iron Hand Primaris Marine looks pretty good. What do they say about it?
Why would we even care?
This named Iron Father will be hitting the shelves and your opponents later this year. So this is a special character.
It seems like why would they randomly make a special character for the Iron Hands?
Maybe they're making a codex for him.
Probably not. Maybe it'll be
I can
in
just
some
imagine
book.
how many Black Templar players would be raging if they did that. Although,
Yeah.
quite frankly, I would rather learn more about the Iron Hands than the Black Templar.
Agreed.
So
But
overall,
I feel this
the
model looks pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Like,
I mean, busy as Games Workshop models sometimes are, but it's mainly only busy because the weapons are so gigantic, which is GW's thing. So
yeah,
That blade could slice pizza. Yep.
he looks like a pizza cutter.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the heavy bolter, like the belt fed thing, looks kind of nice. Like aspects of it look pretty nice, but like, why does he have a heavy bolter
On a pole.
on a stick? Yeah, like that's not.
I like to think of it as a tetherball pole.
Well, I mean, the little claw on his arm looks sort of like a tetherball. It looks like it could swing
No,
around.
it looks like one of those claws that would be in a machine to get like stuffed animals that you don't want.
Yeah, like one of the gotcha machines from Japan, where they have lots
Yeah,
of
where
cool
you have
shit,
to
but you're not
have
gonna
to
get
get
any.
have to get the tag.
Yeah.
It does look. I mean, but admittedly, that seems like effort was made to make that claw sort of hand thing maybe make more sense and be useful. So I
mean,
think
it looks
that's a good effort. I mean, because I think a lot of these things are taking kind of that servo harness that they added to the one Metal Tech Marine when they redesigned
Years
it
ago. Yeah.
like 4 editions ago, and make it look a little better. And like, yeah, I think it looks good. I mean, I would have preferred if that pole-mounted bolter was just a bolter, but
That's
it looks
not
pretty
big
good.
and cool enough, Eric. You know that.
Yeah, and like the axe is way too big, but
Well, and it's
feel
interesting, like the ammo feed, like the belt. Like, there's probably more ammunition in that belt than like that hopper that's attached to his backpack, right?
yeah,
Hopper was a character from Stranger Things.
That's true, Greg. That's true.
He has platform shoes.
Really?
yeah, he does. I
Oh,
think
this
well
dude
they
does. Yeah, it does.
the Gravis armor I
Hopper
think
does.
has had that for a while,
I guess that's true.
or to some extent. Although a lot of the Gravis armor was sort of hidden by the shocks or whatever that would fold down over the shoes. Because the Gravis armor often had those jump pack sort of things on them.
The purity seals on them look good, I think.
Yeah, I think they do look pretty good. Like, overall, I like the model. Like, you just get rid of all the weapons and the harness and stuff, and he could be pretty good.
Why put the Stranger Things as the second best TV show that you don't watch? What is the first?
Yeah, it's like Albite. What's the first?
Jeez, the anticipation is like killing me. What could it be? Is it Golden Girls?
Barry, HBO's Barry.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Fair enough.
I don't know. This Iron
there.
Hands model. This Iron Hands model. It kind of reminds me of your Eldar one that you made for the Thorn Moon stuff.
I see what
maybe
you're
just
saying.
because just because it's a Tech Marine. But
I haven't seen the newest Starbucks commercial, Johnny. Do they have commercials? Like, actually TV commercials?
Wait, Lifeboat, was it actually Barry?
That's what he said, yeah. You guessed it, Greg. I don't even know anything about that.
Well, the only reason I know about it is because I've been watching Game of Thrones, and like Barry comes on afterwards.
Okay.
I think it's about an assassin or something, and it's also, I think, a comedy.
Well,
Okay.
talking about Game of Thrones and Starbucks,
Oh,
Starbucks
yeah,
cup made a
that's true.
cameo in.
Did you notice that, Greg, when you were watching the
I
episode?
did. I didn't. I was.
Apparently, it was already edited out, the coffee cup that was left on the table. That's great. It's great they left that in there.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But I don't know. I feel.
Yeah,
I
Johnny,
think
it was a little slow to pick that up, but yeah, it's funny. Good Starbucks commercial. Maybe their best. Probably their best.
So they edited it out, so like just digitally edited it out
Apparently,
already.
it's gone now.
Mm.
But
Like,
the
they
meme was
changed-
already created.
Did they,
It's been done.
as in they edited out such that the episode they streamed on Sunday you couldn't see it, or
I sort of I mean I didn't look into it closely because I don't care. But I had heard that they like actually edited the episode to remove.
Probably such that if you'd stream it again, because if you have a subscription to HBO, you could watch it again. It's already been fixed. But I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
why
care.
would you want to watch it again?
But I wonder, because I feel you could maybe use some of these Primaris, the harness stuff, and put it on like one of the true scale Space Marine you made, and it might be neat. Admittedly,
but why would
his
I want
axe
to use
and
this
stuff
harness? It's
would
like the
still be
weakest part
too
of the
big.
model.
Just other, maybe not necessarily the harness, but parts of the axe or whatever.
I see what
which,
you're
admittedly,
saying.
it would still probably be gigantic. So, I don't know. But
Do you
it's
think
nice
he
to see
likes
an Iron Hand.
pizza? He probably does.
Probably. It's Space Marine.
Space Marines. Yeah.
Well, didn't we establish that the axe is for cutting?
Yeah, it's true. So probably he likes the deep dish pizza because you'd need an axe that big to cut it.
Maybe.
So I guess the only other actually, wait a minute.
My vote, I think they shouldn't be allowed to edit published episodes. Otherwise, they need to go back and edit the first 3 episodes of this season out as well. So that's funny. But Joe, didn't Kanye West was the start of this, deciding that once he released an album, that it wasn't actually finished and it was a living work that he would go in and change until he was satisfied with it. So Kanye, the genius Kanye.
I mean, Star Wars, they kept going back and putting their hand in the cookie jar and kept changing the original, like A New Hope and all that. And it's just like, can't we just buy the original? I just want to watch the original.
Let's not talk too much more about Game of Thrones, but I will say one thing. Like, Ghost isn't dead, and he just showed up at the beginning of the season, and it's like, oh, I guess Ghost is back. Like, they didn't show how he appeared. He's just there. And then, like, you didn't see him at all during the Battle of Winterfell. Then this new episode after the battle, like, Tormund, Giantsbane, and the rest of the wildlings say, hey, we're going back up north. We don't belong down here. And Jon was like, yeah, I'll give you a hug. You're great. Take Ghost with you. Ghost doesn't belong down in the south either. And presumably that will be the last we see of Ghost. Like, what? Why the fuck did they even bring him back? Like, if it was just gonna be in a scene standing there, and then like after the battle, like, hey, you should take Ghost with you.
It seems like they just didn't want to animate it because it's expensive.
I mean,
then they animated the dragons and they animated, so I don't know.
one of the scenes in I think this most recent episode, the dragons were flying and people were watching them from afar, and the dragons kind of looked like they were just kites.
I hope they were.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Lifeboat, I have a theory there wasn't actually a Battle of Winterfell because we couldn't see it, you mean?
That's good. Alright, we've dallied on Game of Thrones long enough. Like, I didn't even see it. Eric, you didn't see it, so...
I don't
guess
plan
you
to see it.
didn't or don't see it.
I still want to like a Game of Thrones. That's why I stopped watching the show in season 2.
Yeah.
I can stand behind that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Were there any other like previews on here? Maybe not.
No,
I
aside
don't
from
remember.
this terrain and stuff. Which
New terrain's good. I mean, I don't think that's the sort of terrain I would hope for if there was new terrain, but at least it's something.
yeah, it's fine. Looks nice.
Wait, are we looking at this terrain?
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
look briefly at
I
it.
didn't read any of this stuff about it. What did it?
We have no idea, Greg. We didn't read it either.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we did not. Do you think Warhammer Fest this is when we'll see Sisters of Battle?
I
No.
think we'll see a few more like renders and some more iconography, and that's it.
I feel there's a chance we'll actually see like
Or
one
they'll
of the
show
main
like some
squads.
renders of their new Rhino, which is just the plastic Rhino with some icons on it. That's what I predict.
I
That's
hope
what
they
I
actually
predict.
at least show a squad or something, such that
To kind of confirm
like
that the
painted
army's
ones.
actually coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll probably
Lifeboat
then.
says, this is actually pretty important. Lifeboat says, do they have pizza in the 41st millennium? I bet Dan Abnett has not answered that question. They've stayed away from that.
Eric, you've read most of what Dan's written, I think.
Yeah, I don't. He's not the. From what I recall from the novels he's written, including the latest 2 Gaunt's Ghost novels, there's no evidence of pizza. But it could.
Well, maybe
still
they'll
exist.
find an STC machine that.
No food in the Imperium. Yeah, one of the ST
Yeah, maybe.
standard
C
template
machines that
complex
makes the-
machines. That's how they got the best pizza. Fashioned after only the best pizza from the modern day.
Yeah, it could be.
There might not be cows in the 41st millennium.
Maybe not.
Milk.
Maybe not. Who knows? Who cares? That's the
Also,
real thing.
These are the probing questions that we need answered about the 41st millennium.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we could talk. Well, I think we're largely done talking about the previews, but we could mention some
Yeah.
of the stuff we've been looking on Instagram lately. One
Yeah,
of the
let's
things
do
that I was pretty excited about, Mr. Waitley, or Wilbur Waitley, that a lot of people know him by. He's been doing a lot of work on like a new like Nurgle Blight King of sorts, or like a Weevil Knight as he's calling it. It's sort of inspired by like different insects and such that were infected.
Weevil.
Yeah, that were infected with this like fungus that's like killing them and maybe partially controlling them. But yeah, he's done a lot of work with the model, and he made a great use of one of the new little Goblin Knight masks for the model. And
Yeah, no, it looks nice, and it scales pretty well. I mean, I guess it does sort of suggest that using those goblin heads, that they're pretty large, so it might be hard to adapt that to like a smaller like Imperial Guard model or something, but works really well for this Nurgle Blight Lord-ish. I don't know what they call that model, but
yeah, like all these like little weird bony like growths and stuff on the model's back look great.
I think that just the idea of kind of taking some of those fungal growths and all those weird, how there's so many of those different types of fungus that have evolved to sort of mess with the nervous system of different insects. Like, I think that's kind of cool to kind of take that concept and work with it in the context of Nurgle, because you would think there would probably be things like that.
Yeah, no, I really like it. And the color scheme they're going for so far is kind of like an orange red that, yeah, I really like.
Yeah, no, it's cool. He's been doing a lot of cool conversions recently.
Yeah, I mean, recently he's also done a bunch of work of making like Judge Dredd inspired models. Like
Mm-hmm.
here's one of his like a judge that he made.
Yeah, it's great.
And then in addition to the judge, he also made like where is it? Like oh, here we go.
Judge Death.
Yeah, Judge Death, like really great.
Awesome.
Love it. That's wonderful. Great idea, great execution. I feel like I should do something, make something like that at one point.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, the Arbites you made look kind of like
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I guess
Judge
all
Dredd
that's saying,
stuff.
like, if you're not following Wilbur on Instagram or anything like that, you should go
And Twitter.
and Twitter. Yeah, he posts a bunch on Twitter. You should go and follow his work.
Yeah, no, it's certainly worth a follow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So I guess we could talk a little bit about hobby work and stuff that has been going on recently, at least with our stuff. Eric, I guess you haven't done a whole lot since you've been preparing for this science conference and such.
Yeah, no, not really. I got some scale 75, like a scale 75 paint set of different blues to try to continue to work on painting one of those Wraith models, but haven't had the opportunity to do too much.
Their blue paint set's pretty nice. I've just been continuing to work on the Sisters of Sigmar. Um, my progress is like, I mean, I've been making progress, but all the models I make take me so much time. I'm in the process of trying to finish the matriarch for the warband, which would be the sixth model for the warband. We posted some pictures of the model earlier on Instagram. And yeah, so now I'm sort of just going back and like fiddling with extra additional details and stuff, adding little items and stuff to her belt, fixing up some of the sculpting on the model. So, sort of the thought is I'll be finished with the model this week, and then I just have to start painting. And depending on how much time I have once I'm finished painting, maybe try and make another model or two. But we'll see what happens. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the model. It's turning out pretty well. Like I think the base model from Four's World of this Sister of Silence was a pretty good one. Um, overall I like the original model, but like its posing was a little weird. I mean, I tried a bunch to try and fix that.
Yeah, I think she looks good now, and it was a good choice. I mean, it obviously required a lot of work, but I think it fits pretty well for like a warrior in full plate armor.
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, I should take, maybe even, I'll try, should take a picture maybe tonight or soon of, probably not tonight, but soon, of like the whole war band together.
Yeah, you should take a picture of the group.
Um, to see what they look like
Yeah,
together.
you should do that.
But yeah, so that's largely where my focus has been. I've also been working on sculpting some more like cobblestone bases, um, partially for some of the models in your warband, Eric.
Are you using like epoxy sculpt and stuff for that?
So now, and like on this matriarch model, all the green there, that is a like a 50-50 mixture of green stuff and epoxy sculpt. And it it functions pretty similar to green stuff, but once it actually hardens, the lighting's terrible,
Mm-hmm.
but here's the epoxy sculpt. Once it hardens, it's much harder, and you can actually sand the stuff or like scrape off stuff. So it's a lot more resilient than just green stuff by itself.
Okay.
And I
Do
think
you
that works.
feel, is it easier to work with in like mill put?
I think it's a little different. Like if you add like water, a lot of water to epoxy sculpt, it will sort of start to almost like dissolve, sort of like clay.
Okay.
Milliput works very much like clay. Like as you add a bunch more water, it literally will just dissolve into the water. So I almost feel like that is a little more foreign to me than like working with green
Mm-hmm.
stuff or epoxy sculpt, because you just don't really need much water at all. They both work pretty well. Like, I mean, even on this model, you can see some of the yellow areas. Those were sculpted with Milliput. And I feel
Yeah,
Milliput
okay.
works pretty well for sculpting larger areas and sort of setting down a foundation for other stuff, because it also hardens really hard, and you can like shave and sand and smooth it out really nicely. Um, so each one of the different each one of the different putties can sort of has its own applications. Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like the mixture of like milliput and green stuff, or milliput and epoxy sculpt, is kind of a good balance. Like the whole notion of actually trying to use epoxy sculpt, I found that out from Mr. Pink, or Modern
Modern
Synthesis,
synthesis.
on Instagram, and he has a blog and a YouTube channel. Has a bunch of really good videos about sculpting that, if you're interested in some of that stuff, they're worth a watch. But that's what he primarily uses, a mixture of epoxy sculpt and green stuff. Epoxy sculpt is also a lot cheaper than green stuff. You get a lot more of
Mm.
it for the price, so depending on how much sculpting you're actually doing,
Yeah,
that
okay.
could be like appealing to you. 'Cause, I mean, everything in
Mm-hmm.
the hobby is expensive, so anywhere you could save at least a
It's
little
true.
money is often advisable, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should uh, call this stream to a close soon.
That's probably a good idea. I mean, Eric, you probably have to get up early to go to science talks
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's true. It's true.
I have to get
It's
up
true.
early and drive and set up a run on an electron microscope, so
So
fun
cool.
all around, you know? Greg, you
Yep.
probably have stuff to do too, huh?
Yeah.
Always stuff to do. Well, I guess, yeah,
Always
thanks
stuff.
everyone for joining us on the stream tonight. We discussed a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff about pizza. Eric, I guess you keep us in touch.
Yep.
Maybe we could try and have another stream later in the week.
Yeah, I'll see how it goes.
Could be a pizza stream, whatever that is. I could get Little Caesars pizza.
Pizza.
I don't know how much people like watching other people eat, but I don't know if I love
It's hard
that.
to
But
like.
whatever. It would be funny.
Hard to like that.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Johnny. It was nice to hear. It's nice to have someone to chat to, and you too, Lifeboat. Pizza, yeah, that's Little Caesars. Alright, everybody. Keep on enjoying the hobby. Go out sometime this week, get yourself some pizza, and have fun. Until next time.
Yeah, see you, everybody.
Throw up the horns.